Oh yeah. Welcome to another episode of Dark Skies News and Information. Give me more music, man. Why you turn it off? Oh man. Well, we back and we want to talk about the land of the lost. Oh my God. I mean, the reptilians and the dinosaurs and all of this stuff. Well, we need to talk. Mikey Knox is here, Jennifer, Jeff, all the usual suspects. Becky's on the ones and twos, and we, well, need to put them in the air. Make yourselves comfortable. You find the number one podcast in the entire multiverse, Dark Skies News and Information, live from Los Angeles, California. Land of the Lost. Oh man, I'm gonna give you a second to get yourselves comfortable, get yourselves adjusted. We're gonna do the same. We'll be back in a few minutes. You know what we do. I was just telling Mikey the other day, and the reptilians been with us. Oh yeah, how y'all doing today? We are back. You're listening to another episode of Dark Sky, and we just got something just flew over our heads for all of our existence as we proceed. But it seems like we are not alone. I always tell people, like, the story of the dinosaurs, it's something just not right. And, I continue to say that. Like, I don't know if the dinosaurs could have went extinct. You know what I mean? Like, if they were here, then they're still here. Because we're not extinct and shit doesn't happen while we're here. So I just was going through, like, some of my research and, like, reptilian research and sightings, and it was some crazy stuff. But it's funny, an old show had popped up on the screen, and the Land of the Lost, and I was thinking, like, oh my God, I remember I used to watch that show. I used to love it. And like, some of the other guys are like, huh? What show is that? Because they remember the movie, but they don't remember it was a show. But it doesn't matter, the movie or the show. I mean, the show is like one of my childhood favorites. I used to love The Land of the Lost. I used to watch it all the time. And basically the show, people who are familiar, or probably listening to this podcast, is probably very familiar with the show. And you see the thumbnail and you probably clicked on this because the Land of the Lost, yeah. But I don't really want to talk too much about the actual show. I want to point something out that's been eating at me. And even more now that I'm older and I'm looking at it now, and I'm just fascinated. Because as a child, I was fascinated with the show because of the concept. Family, and they running around, and it's a dinosaur chasing them, and there's other dinosaurs, and they're friendly with some of the dinosaurs, but some of the dinosaurs will eat them, and they have to be careful and always go into little areas where the big dinosaur can't fit. And I just always thought it was clever and funny and scary, and like, oh my God, are they gonna get eaten this episode, or they're gonna continue to evade the dinosaurs? And I'm like, well, this is like incredible. As a child, I was like able to comprehend, like, they're in danger, but it's also fun to be around the dinosaurs, and it's also educational. And I'm like, man, no family would have been able to survive in the Cretaceous period. I mean, it was dinosaurs that they left off that show that could have easily fit in the small spaces that the humans were hiding. But, they left them out, and thank God for that. I mean, can you imagine, a raptor, chasing them in a cage? Their whole family would have been eaten the first day. I mean, even the little small dinosaurs, like the little crumpies, I mean, they probably would have, been able to take down that family. I mean, it wouldn't have been the T-Rex would have never even known they were there. Like, they would have been eaten by the smaller animals. But it's crazy, though, to see the show and how long they survived, and and how they would always outsmart the T-Rex. He's not smart. Can't see you if you're not moving. I mean, all these little things. How you know that? I mean, that he couldn't see you unless you were moving because he was a hunter, and he could only see things that moved. Because I know a lot of like predators, like in today's nature, that will watch you move until you get close enough for it to get you. I mean, so it's watching you move. So it's kind of weird that an apex predator that was probably the most vicious and most effective predator of its time didn't have the ability to see its prey if it wasn't moving. So that means that would affect its smell, because he would still be able to smell you if he couldn't see you. I mean, a blind T-Rex would still be able to find, that family that was running from, the dinosaurs and the land of the lost. And even as a kid, I knew that. I mean, what you mean if you don't move, he can't see? He's looking right at you. If he wanted to eat you, he would have ate you by now. So it's crazy, though, when you stop to realize that, this show was trying to tell us something. Like what? You can evade a T-Rex by not moving, or going someplace he can't fit, because he can't get you if he can't, like, fit in there. I mean, that's obvious, right? Like, look at him. He's too big. He sticks his snout in, but he can't bite you because he has to close his mouth in order to stick it in the cave. I mean, he can't bite you.
BBC, CBS, CNN.
Come on, man. So, yeah, it's like crazy because I'm in the office. We got things going on. We follow news stories. We keep up with updates, and it's amazing when you stop to realize just all that's happening at the same time. Because I could be doing a podcast, I could be writing a show, I can be developing an artwork or the thumbnail for another show, I could be just multitasking. I can multitask, and I do this all the time. And people, I'm not the only one, I don't think. I mean, I'm pretty sure there are other people who are listening to this podcast at the same time as driving or making dinner. You can use the smart speaker and all that. So there's so many different ways you can get the show, but it's amazing when you stop to realize exactly what's happening in these times. Now, my love for the Land of the Lost was as a child because of the creativity of the show, and some of the things that was going on in the show was so interesting that it fascinated me and kept me in tune. As a child, I used to love dinosaurs. I used to get all the little dinosaur toys, the Triceratops, and they never had the Raptors. But, the T-Rex, of course, and the Triceratops, the famous ones, the more popular ones, the ones that, when people see it, like, well, that's the Triceratops. And you'll be like, well, that's a T-Rex. So it's some of them that are synonymous, and we kind of get a good idea of exactly like what they are, like on site. A Brontosaurus probably won't bite me because he's a plant eater. And, you know, as a kid, I learned that. Like, it's a plant eater. Like, he won't eat me, right? It's a plant eater. I'm not a plant. So, yeah. But it didn't say nothing about the crumpies and the little smaller ones that, you know, still hunt you and eat you, you know, because they got the numbers. But when I see one, throw a rock, get your ass out of here. About 50 of them come back. I'm like, ooh, shit. And that's what I said. Surviving the Cretaceous period, I don't think, you know, would be, like, that easy. But the show was so fun. And you rooted on them. But the number one thing that kept me, like, involved in the show was not Chaka, even though he was amazing. Can you imagine, you know, going back into the past and, like, interacting like a ancient us? Like a, you know, like a Chaka, was Chaka a cave person? But he was out like out in the open, wasn't he? He was like just a person, right? Like from their time. Of course, he didn't speak English because there was no England yet. But what do you think? He was a caveman, or Chaka was just a person, right? Like a person from like back then. Anyway, we talking about the Land of the Lost, and I just want to get into some of the things that were happening in the show. We're gonna take a quick break. You listen to Dark Skies News and Information, coming to you live from Los Angeles, California, for the Bay to LA. Of course, I'm your host, LC Grace, and that's me on the mic. Oh, West Side.
Rolling in my ride, rolling on my side. That's how we ride. Every day on my side. West Coast, this is how we represent. Reckless, oh God, most of y'all are heaven sent. It's okay, cause we represent, we won't stop. Rise to the top. Even when you're not feeling good, you can still give it up for the hood. Everybody put your hands up. And all the homies, stand up. It's our time, our brand's up. You see Reckless, all the dubs on the hands up. Stand up, man up. And if we getting kinda broke, it's time to plan up. Time to get it. Man, even if the whole world got a witness, don't stop. Cause we real for the real, we real for the fake, we real for the ones that never make. We ones for the ones that never take. But it's real, we shake. Our own dimension, our own suspension. We will not stop, listen dog, you not mention the things that we did to get to this place. Oh God, mama would be disgraced. But we still hold on, we stay strong for the ones that didn't move on. And they still stuck in the same place. Oh God, even though they hate, we gon' replace all that stuff that they move on. Listen, God, no bluff. Everybody stand up, stand up. You gon' see me on my side, rolling in my ride. That's how we do it on my side. Everything is alright. You gon' see me rolling in my ride. That's how we do it on my side. West side. West side.
Oh yeah, right now we on the West, live in Los Angeles. We live on iHeartRadio, Spotify. It's a beautiful thing on CastBox. So you are chiming in on all these different locations. I want to thank you. You're listening to the number one podcast in the entire multiverse, and there's a reason for that, because we're the only ones who do what we do. The only ones can do it. I mean, this is not easy. But anyway, today we're talking about the Land of the Lost, and do you remember the Sleestaks? That's like one of the craziest parts of the show, and another part that always fascinated me was the Sleestaks. And like, who are they? And why were they there? And what are they trying to tell us? Even back then, I believe that, art imitated reality and reality imitated art. And it's funny that art is always telling us a story. Like life is telling us a story. But under the radar, the reptilians, a part of the show. And I'm like, wow, wait a minute, the reptilians was there, land of the lost. You go back in the time and you see, the ancient person, what's up, Chaka? I don't know if that's your name, that's what we're going to call you. You Chaka. You can't tell me your name, and I can't just react when I call you this. I don't know. You're teaching the ancient person, English, because you're going to know English, and you'll be able to understand, like, when we say, run, Chaka. But who the fuck was the Sleestaks? I try to, comprehend it, and it's always fascinated me that, there's a race of beings that are like the dinosaurs, but way more advanced. Like the aliens? Because I guess that's like what they were supposed to be, like they were aliens, and they were fucking with Stargates and all kinds of shit. It was incredible. I mean, it was like beyond, like what you would expect, to see, like, if you was lost in the land of the lost. I mean, I got Chaka here. Chaka ain't got no goddamn technology. This motherfucker can't even speak English. But he cool. I love Chaka. He's nice. It's the homie. The ancient homie. But at the same time, Chaka, didn't even want to, like, mess with the Sleestak. You're like, nah, they come take you away. And I was wondering why Chaka was like the only one. I'm like, what happened to the rest of the Chakas? It's like the Sleestak came and got him, It was never well explained. Like, you got Chaka here, but obviously Chaka is not Adam, like the first man, Chaka is not Adam that God created and was just walking around, because the land of the lost wasn't eaten. Sure in the fuck wasn't paradise. You got dinosaurs running around trying to eat your ass. Not paradise. Gotta live in a cave. But, it was never explained. Like, we living in the land of the lost. But Chaka is from the land of the lost. And he's here with these dinosaurs, but he's used to them. Like, I avoid them. They can't get me. I'm fast, quick. I'm Chaka. Probably what he would have said. But then at the same time, you gotta ask yourself, like, who the fuck are the Sleestak? It's not that, like, they just came out and like, motherfucker, we the Sleestaks. We here. We took everybody. Where the fuck is Chaka? We've been trying to catch him. The motherfucker's slippery. But, the Sleestak never took the dinosaurs. I'm gonna take this T-Rex. Like, no, they didn't take the T-Rex. They left them motherfuckers out there. It's weird because you had dinosaurs and you had Sleestaks. The Sleestaks looked reptilian. They looked like an advanced, like, future version of the dinosaurs. Look, reptilians. Upright, walking, bipedal, just something to make you think, like, wow, who were these guys? Why were they there?
Don't have to go back to the streets. The streets is in me. Don't have to go back to the streets is in me. California streets, don't have to go back to the streets is in me. The California streets, it's the California streets is in me. The streets is in me, baby. Oh, you get to see what's inside of me. It's the streets inside of me. I won't stop, my society is riding me, but I love and pride to be from the street life, but back to life. Do you realize it's not about the real size? This is real life. Back to the streets, so back to the beef. Where niggas back heat. It's all about the streets. California streets, it's inside of me, baby. California streets. It's inside of me, baby. I'm a lion, I'm a third rider. West sider, do or die. But is it you and I, or you and me? I won't stop, it's not unity. But you, me, and your girl equals 3. We can get real hot as we go to my block, back to the spot. Hip hop is my spot. And we can realize, get down for the money. But in this land of milk and honey, I can grab your tummy. But damn, I'd rather have a Playboy bunny kicking in the back, smoking big weed. Look, this is how we go. We be West Coast banging, West Coast hanging, West Coast slanging. This is how we stop. Live on my block, it's damn, I let it go back to the streets. I let it go back to the streets. It's inside of me, inside of me. I got much love for my society. It's back to the Bloods and Crips, back to the Pyrus with the blood skip. But it's the West Coast, yeah, we dip, won't skip like a record. But we break records. When we stop, we're checking. Chin checking like NWA. What can I say? Here we go, hip hop parade. Every single day we barbecue. What? Is it really me and you? Is it me and unity? But let it go back to the streets. The streets is inside of me. Let it go back to the streets. Get back. The streets is inside of me. California streets.
You're listening to Dark Skies News and Information coming to you live from Los Angeles, California. And we're asking, do you remember? Well, do you remember the land of the lost? It always fascinated me. I mean, to see, these things in action. When we talk about, shows and movies and ideas and concepts, and after we never ask ourselves, like, where does this come from? But we were talking about the land of the lost, and we were talking about all the different facets of the show. It's like we're talking about time travel, we're talking about dinosaurs, and we're talking about aliens, and we're talking about ancient men, and that's just like, just a little bit about what the show was about. I mean, you get all of these things like wrapped up in the show. You're like, man, this is crazy. Like who are the Sleep Stacks? Where Chaka's people. I mean, I think about that stuff now, but not as a child. As a child, I just watched the show and hope they didn't get eaten by the dinosaurs. I never asked, like, where are the mid-sized dinosaurs that, could easily catch them? They were faster and more athletic and agile. Cunning. I mean, you could get bit by a mosquito, probably the size of a bird, I guess. I mean, we're the flying dinosaurs. I mean, it's just all kinds of spiders and creepy crawlers. I can just imagine what the Cretaceous period was like. Just, wow, just threats everywhere, You pick the wrong plant, right? You get a thorn in your finger, and next thing you know, you're poisoned. It's a poisonous plant. Or I wonder how big their Venus flytraps were, but it's just all kinds of just, we don't know, like, what existed, like, back then, because, like, it went extinct, like, right? So we don't know, like, it was like man-eating plants, or, like quicksand, or, I don't know, hot springs, or spitting bugs, Well, I'll be mad as fuck I died because a bug spit on me. What the fuck was that? Like, oh, man, you get away from us, man, you about to die. Like, what? That was a spitting bug. Like, what the? How would you know that? But we talk about this stuff, though, and we try to make sense of it. But it's funny now, just like it was funny then, but it's even funnier now when you, like, analyze, like, the show. And it's like, oh, my God, they're, like, it's time travel. You're in the past. And you look, there's dinosaurs, but it's only, like, some of them. It's like, where the rest of the dinosaurs? Anyway, we're Chaka's people. Who's Chaka? Is he a caveman or an ancient person? Or would a caveman be an ancient person? I mean, because like he has his identity, like I'm a caveman. Like, you know, you are an ancient person. Like, you probably get pissed. I hit you with my stick. Bring blood from your head. Like, how are you speaking English? I'm sorry. Life is just this, you know, so complicated, but we're living it and we're trying to, like, piece it all together. And, like, the Land of the Lost is, like, something that, you know, brings all time together. And, you know, trying to, you know, make sense of it is, well, mind blowing, and it just brings me to another place. Because me, as like, you know, a older person would think that I would be able to comprehend and, you know, analyze, you know, a show that I watched in my childhood. But now, you know, like people like doing our video essay, like, hey man, who's Sleep Stacks? You know, don't have a good answer. I mean, what a Sleep Stacks are? The Sleep Stacks are, well, they could be aliens, but they could be reptilians. But they may be reptilians who are aliens to Chaka. I don't know. Then, you know, the tough questions start, you know, doing the video essay, like, where's Chaka's people? How come it's just Chaka running around? I mean, is he from a village? Is he from, like, you know, a city? Is he Adam? I'm like, no, he's not Adam.
I was wondering if he could be my buddy.
You listen to the Dark Skies News and Information coming to you live from Los Angeles, California. What's up, Inglewood?
If you could be my buddy today, hold hands today. And if you decide to stay, maybe we can play till daylight. Fade away, who cares what anybody says? You could be my buddy. You can see me in my BU, double D-Y. I tell you, tell the homies bye-bye. When it's you and I, it's just you and I. Baby, looking fine, shy but still with an eye. Baby, when you walking by, I gotta pause, let you walk by. Look, into your eyes, then start to glide. I need you by my side. Baby, let's take a ride to the other side. To the room, maybe we can ride. Wait for the reply. I know you're not used to somebody trying to choose you, but I bet I can move you like something too good to. No matter who's who, keep them guessing like Blue's Clues. I break all the rules, take all the jewels. And you're a charmer, bet you can make this make move. Your nickname should be Ooh. Can I be with you? I was wondering if you could be my buddy today. Hold hands all day. If you decide to stay, we can play till daylight fade away. Would you be my buddy today? Hold hands all day. And if you decide to stay, then we can play.
Oh, man. You listen to the Dark Skies News and Information, and we're talking about the Land of the Lost today. And, you know, just like what happened during our video essay. You know, I was creating for, you know, I do these shows, right? And they basically going to be dropping on Dark Skies News and Information, what they call, you know, Do You Remember? And, you know, we do like video essays, and we talk about, you know, old movies, because new movies are starting to suck. So asking me to cover new movies is like asking me to cover, you know, somebody sitting on a toilet taking a shit. And I'm like, I want to cover that. I don't want to be in here. Yeah, it's a fucked up story. Yeah, but no, I enjoy much, you know, going back and, you know, remember some of the things that, you know, made my life like a little cool. And Land of the Lost stood out because I was a child and I used to watch it a lot. Like pretty much every time like it was on now. we'd sit down and watch it, you know, because it was a funny show. It was fun. It was different. Yes, it had all the things that, you know, a kid would want to, you know, see. As far as dinosaurs, we love dinosaurs. We're kids, you know, dinosaurs, yeah. You know, it has it, you know. And it has time travel. Like, we don't understand time travel, but hey, it looks cool. If it happens, wow. You know? It had Chaka. Like, we didn't understand Chaka, but we love Chaka. You know? Interesting concept, but as a kid, you know, you don't really take it all in. Like, that's an ancient person. That person is from the past. Like, yeah, because you're in the past. Like, it'd probably be more, like, awesome, like, if Chaka would be brought to our time, like the Land of the Lost too. Like, everything, you know, you can bring Chaka from the past to here. And let him, like, walk around New York and shit and see how he feels. Like, that would be awesome, you know? But, you know, doing video essays and, you know, and analyzing movies and videos and shows and stuff, we, you know, bring in, you know, all kinds of different, you know, aspects to that media because we love to ask questions. We love to discuss things that, you know, maybe didn't stand out or things that were so fucking awesome, you know, about, you know, the entertainment of the past and how I guess writers or whoever who created these shows will have spent so much time. Because if you look at the comic books of the old, if you look at old TV shows, even the old cartoons, you know, were better. And we're going to get into that, you know, like remember the Silverhawks, you know, the Thundercats. And it's just, you know, it's a wealth of, like, shows, like the Transformers, G.I. Joe. I don't even know if y'all remember the GoBots, but, you know, it's so many different, like, shows out there and movies and things that we just completely forgot. And we watch this new shit and we think it's the shit, but it really ain't. It's not well written. It's not well produced. It's not well... most of them be well directed, but not edited well. So, I mean, I'm just not impressed with what comes out now. I mean, I watched all the new Star Wars movies. I mean, and I feel like an alien in this universe. You know, it's just garbage to me. I mean, but it is what it is. I mean, things change, but what remains the same is, you know, our memories. And, you know, sometimes you need to stop and think of how good it used to be. So for Mike and Nice Jim, Jennifer, Jeff, all my friends in Arizona, the leader AV, Becky on the ones and twos, I'm your host, LC Grace. See you soon. Got plenty of shows coming up. Do you remember